Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be talking about appliances, but before we do, I just want to give you some information on my background. I own a Bella Home Staging Redesign. I've been in business since 2010. I've done many homes from top to bottom, basements, kitchens, living rooms, dining rooms, whatever room you have in your house, I can design it. I just want to let you know that I know sometimes when I talk about the pros and the cons of whatever it is that I'm discussing, I want you to be aware that I am here for you if you need me. I thrive on this. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed or confused or downright scared about the choices that are out there, please don't. Please know that I am here to help in any capacity that you may need me. I certainly hope that we can connect, and I would love to work with you. So now we're going to move on to talk about appliances. There are, a few major appliances that go into your kitchen. So we're going to start with, let's see, the fridge. That's always a nice one. Everybody likes to work with the fridge. I got some pictures to show you as I go along, and I got this little tripod here because the other way was just not working for me. So we're going to start with this one right here. I hope it's clear enough, right? Sorry about that if it isn't. I'm doing my best. And you're trying all these little gadgets and it still is a problem. But anyways, okay, this is a top freezer, which means the freezer is on the top and the refrigerator is on the bottom. It's pretty much standard for many, many, many years. It's the only selection that you have. It is economical. It's probably one of the most least expensive refrigerators you can buy. It tends to have no frills. They may come with an ice maker, but they don't really come with that much more frills because honestly, many people don't really buy these. These are great if you're renting out a house or an apartment or something like that. You want to put one of these in there. This is what usually you will find in places like that. But most people kind of stay away from that because there's not much to them. Okay, so let me get rid of that one. The next one, and this one was really popular when it first came out, okay? So this one is a bottom freezer, okay? And again, less variety in this one. You can probably get an ice maker on that. There's no frills on that. It's nice because this bottom half right here pulls out like a drawer and all your items in there, so it's a lot easier. And honestly, you use more of the fridge than you do of the freezer, so it's nice to have the freezer on the bottom, and this way you're eye level with the items in your fridge. It makes more sense that way. This was really popular when it first came out, but there are bigger and better fridges. So again, this one is not as popular as it used to be. Okay. The next one, and it's still quite popular with a lot of people, side-by-sides, okay? Side-by-sides makes it really easy because you have access to both the fridge and the freezer eye level. So it makes it really easy to see what's in your fridge and freezer. It is usually much bigger. They are much bigger than the top or the bottom models. They do come in different widths. They also come in countertop widths, so that's good if you want to make sure that your fridge and your counter are even and then that your fridge is not protruding out. They do come with ice makers, and they probably come with a couple other features as well. They still are pretty popular, but slowly but surely they're being replaced by the next model that I'm going to talk about. They do take up a lot more energy because they do have a lot more features in them. But it's still out there. You can still, see them. They're still pretty popular. So that is the side-by-side. Okay. The next one I want to talk about, and this one is the real popular one here, is called the French door. Okay. Now you can see with this one, there's a French door, and then there's a drawer and another drawer. Could be freezer or refrigerator. This is really nice because it allows you to open up the door and see everything. There's a lot of space in this one. They tend to be pretty big. They're great for families. And they're nice because the other ones, either the freezer or the bottom, when you open up the doors, it's a very big door. So if you're putting it, like in my old house, I had that very close to my countertop and my island, I should say, and so you had to be really, really careful. So the side by side works better. I mean, the French door works better, and the side by side also takes up a lot of room with the doors. But these are really great because they have all these wonderful little features. Now, this is a double door. You can get one that's just single. I believe that this is the fridge. This is part of the fridge, and this is the freezer here. And they hold quite a bit of items in there. Like I said, they're great for families, but they do tend to be a little on the pricey side. They have different sizes as well. Cubic feet, I believe it's called. This one is my personal favorite. I mean, hello. Can you imagine that? I mean, look at that. That is a French door on the top with a French door on the bottom. Not a drawer, but a door. So all these little things right here, they pull out. I mean, talk about ease and convenience. I mean, this is amazing. As far as I am aware, Samson is the only one that makes that, and I have to tell you, the price range is right up there. It's like $25,000, maybe even $3,000 for this particular model. But boy, oh boy, you can fit a lot of stuff in there, and it makes it really easy to see that everything you have. So if you have it in the budget and you can do it, I say go for it. Okay. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is these. This is the French door, but you can see now that it is custom panel. These are great because they will match your kitchen counter cabinets. Very high end. Usually the appliances like this one could be a Viking or a Thermador. There's another one out there off the top of my head. Wolf. So they are very high end, very pricey. A refrigerator like this can run you $4,000 and up. Very big, have lots of space inside there. But again, this is probably more for a high end kitchen because it just blends right in. The refrigerator doesn't stand out, and it's really a beautiful look, but it comes with the price tag. So that's pretty much it for the fridge. There's different variations on all the ones that I showed you. All the features that come in with it will definitely add to the cost of the refrigerator. So keep that in mind, and you have to figure out what's going to work for your family, most important. The next thing I want to talk about is your stove or your range. I don't have my paperwork here. Okay, so this one. Okay, is your gas. You can see from the top part here that is gas, right? I personally like gas because it cooks more even. It cooks with precise heat. Changing the heat is really fast. You can turn it up and down. Really, you don't have to wait for the coils to get hot. It uses less energy. I personally like the gas. I would not cook with electric, but that's me personally. The next one, I wanted to show you this. This is still gas, but I want to show you the difference between this one. You can see this is what I call when it has no backsplash. She's nothing on the top here. Now I want to show you this one. See this one? This one has the little backsplash here. I don't particularly like that, and I'll tell you why. When you use a stove like this, it takes up some valuable backsplash. And I personally like to have, and I'll get into it a little bit more, some sort of feature above the stove and in between the cabinets. So this is not something that I would go for. And I think also that this is probably on its way out because a lot of people feel that way as well. So if you're going to go for a stove, even an inexpensive one, if you can get it without this backsplash right here, I would highly recommend that. Okay. So the next one I want to talk about is electric. And electric will do the same thing. I'm going to show you the one with the backsplash. See it? And then the one without the backsplash. Okay? Now, the electric And I was not aware of this. So see, you learn something new every day. The electric is actually really good for baking. All right, because for some reason it bakes and it bakes really the cakes or whatever you're baking, it cooks it evenly. So it's actually very good to have an electric oven. It is not so good to have an electric stove on the top because you know, the coils take a while to heat. If you get the coil stove, they are very affordable. But what's nice about the electric is you can see it's very easy to clean because it's just a flat top, so you can just really clean it and call it a day. But if I had a choice between gas and electric, and I know some people don't have gas in their area, so consider maybe using a propane tank, because that's what we did in my last house. This house, I'm lucky I actually have gas, so I just went right for the gas stove. But if you don't, consider propane, because if you had a choice between gas and electric, I would highly recommend going gas. Okay. Now, also, when I'm going to use the same picture here is the this one right here. Okay. It's the same picture as the other one, and the reason I'm saying that because it looks exactly the same. This is what they call a dual fuel range because it has both gas and electric. So you have the best of both worlds. You have the gas on the top, which I know this one doesn't really have the gas on the top, but you have the gas on the top and you have the electric on the bottom. So it'll cook fast on the top for whatever you're boiling, your pot, you know, your water boiling or whatever you're cooking on top of the stove. And it's great for the oven because you will have the electric, so it'll cook your food much faster in that oven as well. So this is something that's great. The other one I want to talk to you about is freestanding. Well, what do you mean by freestanding? Well, freestanding is, if you could see here, the sides are finished and the back is finished. So you can kind of leave it freestanding. Obviously not in the middle of the room, but if you don't have cabinets on either side, it's a finished stove on both sides, so it actually looks quite nice. You still have to hook it up to the gas or the outlet if it's electric, but it's nice because if you don't have cabinets on each side, it's a finished product. So it has, you know, it comes in electric, comes in gas, has the same features as the electric or the gas, but it's nice because the sides are finished on that one. Okay, so the next one I want to talk about is, I'm going to keep going with the ranges because actually there's a lot more to range than meets the eye. Okay, here's the next one. Double oven. You can see you have double oven. What's really nice is you can cook 2 different items at 2 different heat, which is really nice. Or you can make it one big one if you're cooking a really big turkey and you need the whole space of the oven. I think they're great. The one thing I want you to be aware of, and this one may not show, but a lot of this door right here tends to sit really low on the bottom. So when you're opening it up, if you happen to be cooking a small bird, a small turkey, or a chicken, and you gotta really bend down to pick up the meatloaf, the turkey, whatever it is that you're cooking in the bottom. So, you know, there's a lot of bending down. Now, you know, if that doesn't bother you, that's great. I don't really like it that way. I'm used to a single oven, but there are a lot of people out there that are used to a double oven. So it's a great feature to have. So this is the double oven. Now, the next one I want to talk about is the wall oven. Okay. They're just that. They're ovens. They're not stoves. So if you get someone who's really a baker and really likes to bake, and when the holidays she's got things going all over the place, this is a godsend. Now, this one's a double one. They also sell single ones, but that's nice because she'll have a stove and her oven in one area, and she'll have these 2 double ovens, and she's got all things going on. So this is a great feature. You like I said, you can bake a lot of stuff. So if you really have to be a baker to want these double ovens. Otherwise, if you don't really bake, I would not consider investing in these ovens. Okay. The next one I want to talk about is a convention oven. Now, again, it looks pretty much like the other ones. The one with convention is that it bakes items even faster and better than electric. It's kind of the new technology that's out there. And I think a lot of these stove, especially with gas, I believe they come with gas, comes with a convection oven, so it makes it really easy to bake your cakes or whatever else you're baking in the oven. And I know this is a really popular feature to have in your stove, so if you cook a lot, you might want to consider getting a convection oven. The next one I want to talk about is, this is kind of cool. It's called an induction stove. All right, it's kind of sits on the top like that. And what the induction is, it heats the food really fast. But this is the neat feature. It uses electromagnetic charge to cook. The surface does not get hot. So if you put this on an island and you got little fingers, meaning your kids, that accidentally touch it, they won't get burned. That's really cool. The one thing about this that you need to know is that you have to have special cookware. It doesn't just use your regular cookware. So keep that in mind if this is the route you want to do. It's a lot more money. It's more custom. And you can see here that it has that little fan, which is the vent hood, which I think is really quite cool. The last one I want to talk about is the drop-in stove. Now, the drop-in stove is that it's installed inside the cabinet. As you can see here, it has more of a custom look. It's expensive because there's less selection. This is not something that you see very often as far as stove, and you have to have a special cabinet, so it's more custom. Again, it's not as popular, but it is kind of a unique look if this is something that you want to do. That is it. So keep in mind that when you're shopping for stoves, like the last one I showed you here with the vent hood, I don't know, this one, you've got these little vent hood that's pretty cool. You've got warming trays, storage drawers. So there are many features that are installed in these ranges. And keep in mind, of course, with every feature that comes with the range, the cost goes up as well. So it all depends on your budget, but something that you should be aware of, especially if you have family, if you cook a lot, if you entertain a lot. These are all features that you want to check out when you are shopping for your stove. The next thing I want to talk about is a dishwasher, because what kitchen doesn't have a dishwasher? I mean, we all need that. I don't really like washing dishes. Okay, so this is your standard dishwasher. This is a built-in, goes right underneath the counter, hooks up to your faucet. You need a plumber to install this. It's easy access. It's more permanent, stays put, doesn't move anywhere. This is what most people have in their home, and there's nothing wrong with it. They've made it so much better now that you get here in the bottom, the dishwasher goes all the way on the bottom. You actually get more room. Well, before you used to have that little bar that went across. You don't have that anymore. You just have the toe kick. So you're actually fitting quite a bit, and all the instruments are on the top. You inside here, so you can't even see it. So it's a nice, clean, sleek line. One that I really, really like, and this is kind of unusual, is, this is called the drawer dishwasher. Okay, as you can see, there are 2 drawers. So if you're single, or it's just you and your hubby, or you don't really cook a lot, and so rather than sitting there and waiting till the dishwasher piles high, because by that time it gets a little stinky and you maybe ran out of dishes, this one gives you the option of doing small loads, which I really like. The thing with that is it does not a lot of selection. I think Fisher and Pyle or Peck is one of them. Very, very pricey. Comes in either a single or also double, or it also comes in a single as well. I kind of like the double because you'll be able to do different loads if need be. So this is really cool to have, but again, this is probably one of the most expensive dishwashers you can buy. The next one I want to talk about, and this is a great little one here, is the portable one. And now you can see that it's hooked up to the faucet. And what's nice about that, they're on wheels, so you can roll them from one end to the other. This is great if you have an apartment and you don't have room for a dishwasher. And I know this one's a small one, but they do come in a bigger size. They are really handy to have. So if you have an apartment and you think you can't get a dishwasher, yeah, you can. Because I actually have this because my son was living and he had that when he moved to California. He didn't want to take it. So for now, I have it until I get my kitchen redone. And then, of course, I'll have more of the, I'm looking to get the drawer dishwasher. Hopefully. And the next one I want to talk about are microwaves. Microwaves are here to stay. They're not going anywhere. People love their microwaves because they're easy to reheat. You do popcorns and all kinds of good stuff on it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the countertop microwave. The only problem with this is you can see it takes up room on your countertop. Yes, you can move it any way you want, but wherever you move it, it's going to take up room. I'm not a big fan of this. This is what was popular when they first came out. Everybody had a countertop microwave, but you are seeing less and less of this. The nice thing about this particular model is that they come in different sizes. You can get a small one, you can get a big one. So for a student going away to college, you can get a little one, which is really good. So it does have its advantages, but not a popular look as far as it goes in the kitchen. This is probably your more popular look. All right, this one is the above microwave. It's above the range. It takes up no counter space. But here's a great example, and this is why I picked this one. You can see between the backsplash of the stove and the microwave here, you got very little space right here. I like to have this space and this space completely open. Nowadays, they're putting what they call pot fillers, or those little faucets that protrude out of the wall so you can fill your pot of water without taking it from the sink to the stove. Also, you can put a nice detail background to it. Look really, really, really pretty. That's what I like. That's why I don't really like this look at all. It's dated. For me, I think it's dated. What is really trending right now, and what I had in my old house, and I loved it, is the microwave drawer. As you can see, the drawer opens up. It goes right into the cabinet. You don't need a custom cabinet, but you will wind up wasting that cabinet just for your drawer. And then on the bottom, you could have a drawer to put your towels or whatever it is that you want to do it. But I love this. I think Sharp is the only one that does it. So Sony might now make it as well. They were not cheap. Something like this ran about $900, but it doesn't take any counter space, and it's really cool. You can push the button, it opens, or you can pull the handle and it opens and closes the same way. So it's a really good. If you're going to regut your kitchen and you have an opportunity to put that in, put it in. The next one I want to talk about is this is a built-in microwave. It's actually built in right into, it's different than the other one. It's built in because this one, you can put it anywhere, in any place in the cabinets, because it's made specifically for your microwave to go in there. It doesn't take up any counter space, but it's going to be custom because it has to be custom because it's made specifically for that. So the price is going to be up there. The last thing I want to talk about, and this is all the rage now. Before they were called wine cellars, now they're called beverage centers. Okay, so this is it. You can see it right here. You can put in it's useful for drinks. It gives you more space in your fridge, especially if you have a big family. Your kids can get to it. This one, some of them can go underneath your cabinet. Some of them can be free standing, so they can go in any room you want. They come in the double. They come in the single. So however you want to do it is great. There's also wine coolers. The difference between the wine cooler and the beverage centers, the wine coolers have more of that little arch where you can put your bottles of wine in, and it's specifically just for wine. That's when they first came out. They were more called wine coolers. Now they're called beverage centers because you can fit anything in these things. So it's a really good thing. I wouldn't say it's a good thing to have, but if you've got kids and you've got a lot of juice boxes and all that stuff, and you can afford it and you have the space, I would say go for it. They do come in all sizes. So that's it as far as appliance goes. I hope you learned a lot. I know there's a lot of variations about on all the appliances that I talk to. This is just to get you an idea of what's out there. I know sometimes it can be overwhelming, but like I said in the beginning, I am here for you. This is my passion. This is what I love to do. And I also love researching this stuff too. So, because you always learn something new. So I certainly hope that you learned a lot and that you enjoyed it. And if you do, please feel free to share. Please feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear any feedback you have. Actually, my friend is the one that told me about this, so that was a great feedback. So any feedbacks that you have, please feel free to let me know. I so enjoy discussing this with you, and I hope to see you all next week. Until then, have a great week, everyone. Bye.